listening to Room 303 Radio.
Live from Tokyo.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
This is Zensai with Namahamu and
Down2forage,
Down to
aka
Forage,
me.
aka you. Okay, well, welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Namahamu. I host this regular show on Room 303 Radio, where I bring on interesting people, maybe not necessarily associated with the music world, and I take their time for an hour, and we use it to dive deep on their past and what they're doing now, and we try to connect it back to the music that they've been listening to over their life. So maybe would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Emily Smith, but I do go by Down2forage, which hasn't translated that well to living in Japan. But I live in the mountains of Higashi Yoshino in rural Nara, and I'm
Beautiful.
Originally from the UK,
Okay.
like you.
Yes, busted. So we first met in March, I believe. Was it March?
Yeah.
Through a common interest in, as you mentioned, living in the countryside, both being from the UK, interest in wild plants and those foraging. I was curious what you said there. Why does down to forage not translate so well?
Well, I don't think the origin of Down to Forage translates that well. So it was a joke for when I was dating.
Okay.
And as a very romantic person, I was very confused what DTF meant. And so I, as a joke, was like, oh, well, yes, if it means down to forage.
Oh, that's funny. So it's actually...
It's actually a bit of an innuendo.
It's a little bit of an innuendo, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, but I am down to forage at all times. And that is all.
Okay. Well, and thank you for that little introduction. And then I wonder if you could just share what we just opened up the show with there. What were we listening to?
So that's Sometimes by My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
One of the most famous shoegaze tracks. And as I was saying, I find it the perfect kind of music for chilling. And so I wanted to ease people in before we go a bit more hardcore or emo.
Yes, well, I am quite looking forward to see where this show takes us. Yeah. But I am glad you took us on through the easy route way in. And it was a beautiful track, very nice, classic shoegaze kind of feeling. And here we are, we're just chilling in the studio. And what period of your life would you have gotten into this kind of music, or you discovered it?
Relatively early, but I never really knew that much about the shoegaze movement so much. And then I revisited it at around 18, 19, when I was doing a lot of drinking and finding music that I liked when people came over. A lot of my friends always had a very different music taste. And so I found that My Bloody Valentine were actually quite easy for people to enjoy listening to, even if they didn't like any alternative music or only liked commercial. Okay. Well, I think that takes me to the first song that I want to request from you, which, if that was your easy listening intro song from that period, what would have been a slightly more deeper hardcore song that... Well, now you've specifically said hardcore. I know you weren't meaning that as the genre, but a lot of my music origins come from the hardcore genre.
Okay.
And even though it's not something that I gravitate to as much now, because I don't feel quite as young and angry, I could definitely go in with some hardcore. And the best thing about hardcore music is it's really fast and the tracks are very choppy. So I could. Could you
cue up? I'm gonna cue us up a little bit of a hardcore.
Okay.
So we're back in Emily's drinking era, 1819. We've eased them in with some shoegaze. They're at the house party. They're having a good time now.
Yep.
And then we're hitting them with a little bit of
Minor Threat.
Let's go. Thank you. Would you just remind us what that track was?
So that's Salad Days by Minor Threat.
Salad Days by Minor Threat.
Yeah.
And you were listening to this in your late teens, was it?
I first came across Minor Threat when I was a bit younger, but I didn't know how influential they were to everything that I've geared towards over the years. I feel like when you're listening to music as a teen, you don't really deep dive into the origins, and you just take what it is as it comes out. But they are such an influential band, so I revisited them later on.
I see.
Yeah.
And what was Emily down to forage? Emily wasn't down to forage aged at that age,
no.
was she? What was Emily at
She
that
was not
age?
foraging.
She was not foraging. So
No.
where were you? You were in the UK, were you?
So I had just moved to London to go to university.
Okay.
I was definitely not foraging.
Okay.
I was not spending any time in nature.
Okay,
I was
big change to now.
drinking a lot.
Okay.
I was at university, but I was working over 3 jobs at the same time, and
Wow.
I was probably distinctly unhappy.
I see.
Very emo.
But your work rate wasn't any... It sounds like your work rate was the same then as it is now.
Yeah,
Very busy.
I like to distract myself. So the
Okay.
difference is now I have a lot of passions, and I'm busy doing the things that I enjoy. Previously, I was busy distracting myself from impending doom and feelings of dystopian isolation.
Okay. Okay, so now the work rate is there, but you're filling it with projects of meaning and a value of yourself, and that can bring genuine happiness.
Yes, the way I describe it is that I work really hard, but I spend minimum 5 hours in the forest every day. And so
Okay.
that, I consider that part of my minimum daily work. And so that's kind of privileged. But then I stay up editing, and
Okay.
editing takes so long.
Yeah.
So it is creating art, and
Yeah.
I am the person that drives my work ethic.
Yeah.
So I like to create.
Okay, yeah, and for anyone that doesn't yet know, do check out Down to Forage Instagram, where Emily shares many of her short clips and videos of her time in the forest, amongst other things. Many interesting foraging adventures and more. I want to get a bit more into that into the later half of the show. But just coming back to this emo theme that you said, impending doom.
Yeah.
Do you have any songs that... in that instance, so the songs that you listen to there, do you feel that they were somehow healing you from that, or was it rather that you were relating to them and could find something to be a part of, or a larger movement, do you think?
I think when I found the emo movement, which exploded as such a community that I really was drawn towards, it just felt really cool. It was a really cool time to be in music, to be around music. Everything was new. So MySpace just came around. So this is like the beginnings of MySpace, 2003.
Yeah.
I was big on MySpace.
Okay. Down to... What were you doing?
I was shot in the heart. Yeah, I had some really hilarious... I just want to scream, and then I was shot in the heart.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Right.
it was just a really cool time to be a teenager. The internet still felt kind of new. I guess you'd come out of like AOL. I'd grown out of MSN, and it was a time where bands, especially like punk bands or what became third wave emo bands, had this amazing connection with their audience. I was chatting to the bands that I listened to one-to-one, even just like quite creepy people. Like, I don't know if you remember what happened with Lost Prophets.
No.
Okay.
Maybe that's
terrible.
Maybe
terrible
that's,
thing.
Okay, right. Well, maybe that's not something we want to dive into immediately here.
No.
Maybe rather we could take a listen to one of your songs then that maybe got you into the genre, or particularly you identified or as a key sort of memory for you of that era. Would you have a song that you'd be able to share on that?
I have the best song.
The best song.
Yeah,
Okay.
the best song.
Well, let's let Emily cue that up. There we go.
Oh yeah. Alright. 'Cause girl inside. Flip on the telly, wrestle with Jimmy. Something is bubbling behind my back. The bottle is ready to blow. Say it ain't so. Your joke is a heartbreaker. Say it ain't so. My love is a life taker.
Okay, and that was,
Weezer.
and the track name?
Say It Ain't So.
Say It Ain't So.
Yeah.
And you were just mentioning to me there one of the very examples of third wave emo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm a bit of an emo nerd, and I think that
Yes.
people that don't know that much about the genre don't really understand and see emo just as its rendition in 2005
Sure.
and 6 and 7 with emo fringes and eyeliner and lyrics about kind of self-harm. But the emo music culture kind of like existed from that Minor Threat song that I played.
Yeah.
And it built out of hardcore. So it hasn't come from goth.
Yeah.
It's come from hardcore. It's come
okay.
from musicianship.
Right.
And the emo kind of rise that came with MySpace and that I first kind of joined in at, that was the third wave of emo.
Okay.
And so actually some of the most amazing influential bands of my lifetime were in the wave before, in the second wave.
Second wave.
And that is nearly 20 something years ago, 24, 25 years ago. So it's been around for a really long time. And it's a subculture that came out of community. It came out of a lot of political things, anti-racism often, DIY movement out of punk. So all values that I really like. So it's way more than just shitty eyeliner. But I love the eyeliner.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. We've sort of jumped straight into the deep end. I feel like we've really gone for it. So maybe I want to take this moment to take a couple of steps back.
Yeah.
Back to baby Emily.
Yeah.
How we've crash landed in your 18, 19, late teens drinking, deep emo phase, 3 jobs, burnout.
Yeah.
Running away. So how did we get there? Where was Emily when she was younger? What was she listening there? What was your kind of... It's very clear that music is a very deep and important thing to you, but where might that have come from?
So my dad was a musician before he turned corporate. So everything in my life was centered around music as a child. My earliest memories are my dad playing records to drown my crying out as a baby.
Wow.
I genuinely, I don't know if it's a false memory because my parents have talked about it. My dad loves music and he loves it loud.
Okay.
And so music is probably my biggest love. I love nature, but I think that people are part of nature exclusively already. So I don't think I have to include that. Yeah. And so music is my greatest passion in my life.
Wow.
And food.
And food. I definitely want to be getting into the food, but let's talk about that in a little bit later. So when your dad was playing this music, you were saying this is maybe false memories. Do you have any idea what kind of music, what songs he would have been playing then?
He was big into the Beatles.
Okay.
And when I was super young, I mean, I knew all of the Beatles songs. Okay. And I remember the first time I heard the Beatles outside, like playing on like a radio. I thought it was like my like family band. I genuinely felt like it was like a secret, like a band that my dad knew that he'd played in, kind of thing. I genuinely thought my dad was in the Beatles. Wow. Because my dad, he played guitar, and so I grew up. Like the earliest memories are I played guitar. I never had a lesson. We just jammed together. So the first songs I learnt were the Kinks and the Beatles. I learnt them, and I was actually quite shocked and embarrassed. I remember even feeling oh, that's cringe at like 4, being
Wow.
like, oh my God, the Beatles aren't like my dad's band.
Aren't actually all that they're well. Well, in that case, I don't think we necessarily need to listen to a Beatles track right now, but I wonder if there are any other songs or tracks you might have.
Yeah.
Ready
I'm going to
for
play
us.
this song, which really reminds me of my earliest childhood.
Okay, amazing.
It's a banger.
It's a banger from
a banger.
Emily's early childhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sky is overcast and no one brings a rose for Emily. She watches her flowers grow while lovers come and go to give each other roses from her tree, but not a rose for Emily. Emily, can't you see there's nothing you can do? How the sun is shining. There's loving everywhere, but none for you. Her roses are fading now. She keeps her pride somehow. That's all she has, protecting her from pain. And as the years go by, she will grow old and die. The roses in her garden fade away. Not one left for her grave. Not a rose for Emily. Emily, can't you see there's nothing you can do? How the sun is shining. There's loving everywhere, but none for you. Her roses are fading now. She keeps her pride somehow. That's all she has, protecting her from pain. And as the years go by, she will grow old and die. The roses in her garden fade away. Not one left for her grave. Not a rose for Emily.
Wow, not a single rose for Emily.
Not one left for her grave.
Not one left. Wow. And what an amazing song to associate with your childhood, with your own name in it.
Yeah, my dad played that to me when I was so young. I must have
Goodness.
been 2 or 3.
Wow.
And I really loved how poetic and beautiful it was, and tragic. I mean, I think I was very drawn to the emotion.
Wow,
of
so
that song.
already from that very young age, the emo,
Yeah, the
emotional
roots were there.
side, they were
And
already set.
I didn't know that it was a Faulkner short novel, and I didn't know anything about the song, but the lyrics, I've always loved lyrics, and I found them very poetic and tragic.
And tragic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump a little bit here, but as we were talking about roses in the garden, it crossed my mind. Emily, do you know what your first forage was?
Yes, of course. It's basic as hell. Oh no, actually, actually, it's not basic
Let's
as hell.
rewind.
So I taught myself to forage, but I had foraged with my father, the guy that played all the music and played
Yes.
A Rose for Emily.
Yeah.
My father. He was actually a really big forager, but we didn't have the terminology foraging.
Right.
So I grew up in the countryside. My dad is obsessed with predominantly fruit trees and nut trees.
Okay.
And so we traveled around the whole of the UK to collect guitars. My dad had over 50 guitars, all rare guitars. He would build guitars. And so on the weekends, we would get in the car. My mum would have made sandwiches. It was just my dad and I.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a daddy's girl.
Little road trip.
Yeah, and we would just drive around and listen to CDs.
Okay.
And my dad would see, for example, a plum tree up
Ah.
on the hill a while away.
Yeah.
And he would find a way there. He always had boxes in the back of his
Amazing.
car.
Oh, that's so
and
nice.
he's the only person, I mean, we haven't foraged together, but he's the only person that I've met that forages in the same way as I do. I love the act of foraging. I like to select each thing, and I really enjoy the picking, kind of slowly. I find it very meditative, and I enjoy it a lot. And my dad is the exact same.
Wow.
So we used to pick chestnuts or pick beech nuts or plums, all different kinds of fruit. And so those are also some of my earliest memories. So that's kind of cooler than saying wild garlic or
Wild
Ramsons.
garlic, yeah.
Which is also true, but that was nearly 20 years later.
Right. So you have this, again, with the music, also with the foraging and food from a very young age, this influence predominantly coming from your father, it seems like.
Definitely,
yeah.
when it comes to music.
Yeah, and then going out, finding these fruits of nature, quite literally, and picking up. But the actual mission there, it was to go and get some guitars, by the sounds of it. This was always the sort of side hustle on the way there, was it?
Yeah, but the road trip was all about listening to CDs. And my dad was constantly trying to give me a musical education, and quite a... he's such a music nerd.
Yeah.
He's the kind of person that he knows every record. I mean, from the 60s until like the 90s. He doesn't know that much about contemporary music.
Sure.
He definitely wouldn't know about dance music. But for rock and alternative, he will know who produced the album. He knows what studio. He knows.
Wow. Yeah,
he's really
deep into it.
Deep.
Yeah.
And he was always going so far into the details of each record, and I would be like just trying to like look out the window sometimes.
So I wonder if you could take us there to a road trip in the UK foraging with any. Was there any music that you would have been listening to on these drives?
Yes.
You have it. Okay, queued up. Well, let's listen. Let's picture Emily on a road trip with her father, looking out the window, spotting some chestnuts, some plums.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you'll never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. But you know they won't win. Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. And the paper today tells of war and of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us, but you know they won't win. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And would you just remind us what this one was?
So that's Don't Dream It's Over by Paul Young. Crowded House also did it, but that is the track that my dad always played really loud on his hard-fi.
Wow.
Really loud.
Really loud to muffle the crying, but also to soundtrack some beautiful drives across the UK, finding some vintage guitars and foraging.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in your childhood, it seems here, and a lot of musical influences from a young age. What is an artist, or is there any kind of song that has stayed with you from then? Because it feels like we're talking about this very much in the past. This is what you were listening to. This was what was important to you. What was true then is also true now.
I have to say that much of my music taste has been... it's not to say that I haven't grown, but it has... It started from a very young age, and it has remained. So the most important artist in my whole life is Elliott Smith.
Okay.
When I was 8 years old, my brother gave me his album Either Or, which is the most beautiful album I think that has ever been created.
You received that aged 8,
yes.
did you say? 8.
Yeah, my brother was really important in my music life. He gave me the Velvet Underground when I was like 7.
Wow.
He gave me...
what was the age difference? So when
he's
you say
only
7,
4 years older.
so he would have been 11 listening to Velvet Underground.
All of my early music education came from him. Even like Blink 182, which I loved, Sum 41. Avril Lavigne, which was such an important album as a girl, because a lot of my artists were white male. She's also white female. But that was like life-changing to see like a kind of, I guess, pop punk girl. Yeah, so he gave me Elliott Smith.
Wow.
And that has influenced my whole life. It made me a different person, and I feel so connected to Elliott Smith.
Okay.
And yeah.
Wow, and Elliott Smith is actually an artist that I also really, really do like. I maybe can't say I share quite the same level of connection, but the album that you mentioned there, I very much like. Many others. I just wondered, maybe would you be able to share a song from? Would it be from that album, or is there any song that you'd want to?
Well, I love so many of his. I love every song, but Say Yes is my favorite song. I think it is just the most beautiful song ever created.
Okay,
so I'm gonna play it.
Well, let's get into it.
I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl who's still around the morning after. We broke up a month ago, and I grew up. I didn't know I'd be around the morning after. It's always been wait and see, a happy day, and then you pay and feel like shit the morning after. But now I feel changed around, and instead of falling down, I'm standing up the morning after. Situations get fucked up and turned around sooner or later. I could be another fool or an exception to the rule. You tell me the morning after. Cricket spin can't come to rest. I'm damaged, bad at best. She'll decide what she wants. I'll probably be the last to know. No one says until it shows. See how it is. They want you or they don't. Say yeah. I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl who's still around the morning after.
Wow, what a beautiful song.
Very beautiful song.
Yeah, the best song in the universe, I think.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect, and it's short, and it leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's all the makings of a good song. And Elliott Smith, that's an artist that I also really enjoyed and still do listen to often now. But I do want to we've been really focusing on the emo childhood. We've been really deep in it. I just wondered if we can move on from the drinking and the London and this period of your life. Where did you go after that? Where were you after university, say?
So I went straight into making documentaries. And so I was still in London, but spending half the time away on set. I mean, not on set, actually filming. And then normally back for half the year.
Okay. And what kind of documentaries would these have been?
So the main documentaries that I've made have been ones with tough subject matter.
Okay.
So the easiest way to say that is people that have been through terrible things.
Right.
So filming missing people, filming
Okay.
people that have lost a loved one,
Okay.
Documenting crime and mass murder and gun violence and quite heavy topics.
Very, very, very heavy topics.
Yeah.
Were these kind of documentaries, were these for television? Were these
Yes.
for
So-
feature length?
So these were for the BBC and Channel 4, and then when the streamers started, then, you know, like Discovery or
Okay.
HBO or
Right.
Netflix.
And so the idea of these documentaries would be more to kind of expose these stories, or what was the sort of...
Yeah, depending on the documentary, but quite often trying to get a different point of view. So going out with the emergency services to, you know, crime scenes,
Right.
and also documenting the process of like, law enforcement, spending
Okay.
time in homicide departments,
Wow.
going on to scenes of crime to document the police for public interest.
Okay, very heavy things, but like one way to put it would be the stories that you see in the news, kind of giving another perspective or trying to give a
Yeah.
little bit more context around them rather than just the headlines.
Yeah.
The people behind them, or
Completely. And I think that the most privileged thing that I found from that whole experience wasn't necessarily the documentaries themselves. It was the insight that I was able to take and to spend time with people from all different walks of life and build connections with people even in the most terrible circumstances. I think
I see.
I've always been a very empathetic person, but it taught me so much of my own privilege and how just one shitty thing can change your whole life, or where you were unfortunately born, or systemic racism. So
Wow,
I feel very lucky.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it's exposing many things to the audience, but also to yourself in the process. And you said you were predominantly based in London, and where were you traveling in that period?
So in the latter years, I spent some time in America.
Okay.
And so I spent nearly a year in Kansas City, which was a kind of
Kansas.
pivotal time in my life. I just had a very big set of circumstances, and I was ready for a change.
Okay.
So I had an emo revival.
A little emo revival. Okay, so
Yeah.
what were we listening to in the canvas?
This is crazy, but it's one of my
Kansas,
favorite
yeah.
bands of all time.
Okay.
I happened to meet them and then get the tour bus back with them so we did a road trip from Chicago to Kansas
Wow.
City, and it was absolutely crazy. So I'm going to play you
Wow.
some Get Up Kids, who are the most amazing band.
Get Up Kids. Wow.
Yeah.
お願いします。Oh, slight tech troubles over here. We're gonna get that up for you. It's okay.
What became of everyone I used to know? Where did our respectable convictions go? Your words don't match the story that your actions show.
Okay, thank you. That was the Get Up Kids.
Yeah. One of the most pioneering second wave emo bands. One of my favorite bands. They still play such an amazing live band. They've been around for like decades. They're all dads now.
Wow.
But phenomenal songwriting, really cool guys. The nicest guys.
Okay, but so at this time, this is Emily in Kansas City, America, mid-20s, true crime documentaries, tour buses.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Japan? I think this is a kind of, we haven't really touched this at any point in this in this show yet. I mean, there's how did we get here? You're here in Japan.
It's safe to say that years spent watching people in the worst circumstances can really make you feel quite disillusioned. And so I felt very disconnected, and I think what I saw was very traumatic. Not to say that it was my personal trauma, but I think that if you see someone in that circumstance, especially if you're an empathetic person, it does weigh on you.
I see.
So I returned from Kansas City, and I felt very confused, and I ended up just going for these crazy walks. One of my mates was also back in our hometown, so I had nowhere to live. COVID kicked off. He's actually a musician too, and we just started doing these crazy walks, like 30 to 40 mile walks in boggy conditions.
Okay. And is this related to foraging?
Yeah,
or is it
because
just
that's
all
when I
about the walk?
first smelled wild garlic.
Oh, so this was your first forage in adult age?
This was my first forage in adult age.
After the father
I smelled something
drive.
garlicky,
Okay.
and then I looked into it and found out that it was edible. Then I became fully obsessed because food is my passion, and I taught myself to forage.
That's amazing. So you always loved food, you loved eating. You went for a big old crazy walk in a bog, put a wrong foot, and suddenly you got a whiff of garlic and thought, what's that?
And when I found out that it was edible, I thought, what else is edible? And then I discovered that pretty much every season, anywhere you are, there are so many edible plants that you can eat instead of, let's say, buying spinach. And I became really obsessed and just nerded out, and I wanted to try every combination. And the best thing about foraging, as you know, is you can start doing experiments, and you do things that you can see that no one else has done, and that really excited me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room for experimentation and creativity. I want to ask the question, which is, what is your favorite thing to forage? But that's just boring, I think. So I think what I'd rather ask is, what is your favorite, and then let's keep this to the UK. Okay. What is your favorite season to forage, or maybe location?
I love every season.
You love
I love every day and every season.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry to be boring. Obviously, mushroom season is... there's more around, but especially in the UK, you can get mushrooms in January, February, March. There isn't, I guess, a mushroom season as much as there is in Japan.
I see.
So I love foraging every day in the UK.
Wow.
Sorry. But my favorite time to forage really is probably, I would say September, because you've got leftover porcini and then you've got chanterelles.
Okay, all right, but very kind of feeling a bit mushroom focused here.
Yeah, I love mushrooms just because you can get so many varieties of flavors, and so then my whole aim when I was living in the UK was to buy as little as possible and just reinforce things. Yeah. With shop bought things. So I used to eat a lot of wild food, and mushrooms are a great bulk. Yeah.
And how does that translate now, living in Japan? We haven't really had much time to talk about your actual time in Japan, but now what kind of things are you foraging? What kind of food are you making?
So there is where I live, there are a lot less mushrooms. So unfortunately, I'm not able to eat mushrooms all the time. Okay. But I still forage a lot. I actually brought you some. I brought you some Korean dogwood berries. Kosa. Have you had them before?
I don't know. I mean, do you have them to hand?
Yeah,
Can
they're
we
just
get them
there
out?
in that bag. That bag there. So.
Wow! Look at this. I've got some wild forage berries.
There's an apple core in there as well.
Oh wow! Okay, presumably not forage.
It is in a dog poo bag, but I promise you that it's a hygienic bag.
What are these? Let's get these out on the camera.
So they're native to Japan and Korea.
Last one. Wow, look at these. Beautiful red colour.
I first came across them because they were used ornamentally in Victorian gardens. So what I used to do is if I saw something, I'd be like, is that edible? Oh, one lost.
We've lost one.
Okay.
Here you go. I'll give you another one.
Thank you. Okay, you tell me what this tastes like.
All right, but I can just eat this, can I? All in one?
Yeah, all in one. But there's a stone.
There's a stone, okay. Wow. Okay. Intensely sour, but
Like a gummy flavor.
Oh, it's funny you say that. It reminds me of gummy, the fruit gummy. Which
Yeah, it's
I don't
like
know.
gummy.
I don't know what is in it in English.
It's called silver fruit.
I mean, it's just basically like a delicious, massive red currant. Almost,
Yeah.
With,
I think better than a red currant.
yeah, this is really amazing. And you foraged this in your village in.
No, I picked this on the way to the studio, but I washed them in the bathroom.
Where did you find these?
In the street.
In Tokyo.
Of course, since I've been here, I foraged biwa, I foraged some jelly ears. There's a load of fruit trees in Tokyo.
Amazing. All right. Well, on that note, as I eat some foraged Shibuya, what would please remind me the name?
Pollution fruit.
Pollution fruit. Maybe you'd like to close us out with one last song. We're just coming to the end of our time here. We'll just get one more. I mean, wow, this is amazing. I really thought that Emily had just brought this from the countryside, but this has been found just in Shibuya. Amazing. Okay. Thank you. We've already come to the end of the show, unfortunately.
Tragic.
Yeah, we needed 2 hours. I mean, we really only got the first half of your life there. We only just got into Japan.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
We barely scratched the surface, but we did get with these delicious berries
Yes.
that Goose has now tasted.
His face puckered.
His face did pucker, but he did say that he liked the flavour.
It is delicious, but it's a bit sour.
Yes, well, I'm very, very happy that Down to Forage brought me these berries for this episode of Zensai. So just to close us off, I just want to say a big thank you to my special guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Emily. And I do hope that we will continue this show. I think it needs a part 2, so...
I would love that.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Plenty more music to go, so yes. Thank you.
Thank you.